What is up, Wise Take Nation? It's your boy BrewMedic47 here with this human being, this guy that I do this show with, at Clint Petrikis. What's up, dude? We just had quite the pre-show conversation that I'm still not really recovered from. So we're just going to go. We're just going to get into this week. Welcome, everyone, to the Wise Take PGA DFS Wise Stream. This week, we are breaking down the Wyndham Championship. Really the last full field event we're going to see for a little while, the next couple weeks.
No, never mind. Yep. Okay. No, I mix up the dates because today is Tuesday. That's right.
Yeah, so this starts the FedEx Cup playoffs, which we usually see at the end of the season as opposed to the middle of the season. So it's a little bit of a different spot this year. It's a little oddly played out because after the end of the FedEx Championship, we're going to have more golf, I assume. So we have a couple majors. It's
you go from playoffs to a major.
Yeah.
Like, you just won the FedEx Cup. Now go play a major.
Very weird. Yeah. So, like, golfers have had very little time to accrue points compared to, like, where they would have playing a whole season. They don't have the points from the majors, which are cranked up from regular events. So, yeah, kind of a weird week, kind of a weird layout. I don't know why they wouldn't just push the FedEx Cup to the end. I don't know, but here we are.
Keep something on schedule,
I guess. But
I'm just wondering. I'm wondering if the U.S. Open and Masters are going to count towards next year's playoffs, and then you have 6 majors, because that's a lot of points.
Yeah, that's an absurd amount of points. I don't know. So, well, all right. I'm not gonna continue to pine on and on about that. Let's hit on last week real quick. What did you think of the PGA Championship?
I had Paul Casey in my main lineup.
Nice. There you go.
Because
grind that shit down, melt it into a liquid, and shoot it right into my veins, because that was awesome.
Yeah, it was good. And Morikawa, like, had him on my main. Morikawa and Casey, like, were on my main lineup. I like both of them. Casey was riskier because of his putting, but he gained 0.9 strokes putting, and when you hit the ball like he does, tee to green, you're gonna do something special. I want him to win. I'm not mad at Morikawa. I'm glad he won. I just want Casey to win a major because he's never won one. So I was rooting for him because of that purpose. It would have helped more of my money, but like, I'm glad Morikawa won. Like, he deserves to win. Like, he's just, I mean, and I liked him because he's a win player. He went to school in California, grew up in Hawaii. It's like he knows how to play in these types of conditions, and that's why. And with how good he is, it was all set up for him to win. Dustin Johnson just decides to make a birdie to come in second place on the last hole.
What conditions? Because there weren't really any conditions.
Well, the afternoon was like had more winds, and like Thursday especially.
Like early.
It wasn't calm.
Yeah, it wasn't. It also San Francisco usually is. I mean, it was a little cold.
I mean, it was 15 mile per hour. That's usually San Francisco. Your mid 60s, 15 miles per hour. But
I was looking for like type winds, like fucking these players getting hammered.
Yeah, and then I had Joel Dahmen too. Liked him. He came top 10. Yeah. And then I just picked. The only reason I didn't play Dustin was because of the ownership. I was like, between him, Webb Simpson, and Cantlay, it's like I didn't love any of them. I was just like, I didn't want to play chalky Dustin Johnson. That's the only thing that really hurt me.
Yeah.
And I didn't play Brooks Koepka because of his price and what I thought he was going to be on. He wasn't as high as I thought, and then he blew up on the last day.
And he completely melted down. After coming out with some comments, my man made some statements after Saturday, and really kind of eating some crow after that. But I mean, we've seen a pattern too where he just doesn't really do it on Sundays at these events.
Well, his knee was really acting up. Like he was in the grass, rough, like stretching out his knee at times and all that.
Yeah, but not even just this event. Like in the past, like he's kind of won because he played the least worst. You know, like not like he came out and dominated.
That's how he won the PGA Championship last year at Bethpage.
Yeah, absolutely. I was there.
I'm surprised he's in this field too.
Yeah,
I'm surprised he's in this field.
Unless he's like trying to come out and make a statement. But I don't know. We'll get into that when we get into our picks. But yeah, I mean, I loved it. I mean, Morikawa, that back nine on Sunday. Oh my God! Like,
well, the 16th hole is what won him it.
Yeah,
driving it on within that eagle is what won it.
Hitting driver off the tee on a 300-yard par 4, hitting it to 7 feet, and then tapping it in for eagle to basically like secure his win. Like the stones on that guy. Oh my God! Like that's just. I mean, you keep drawing comparisons between him and Tiger, and he keeps justifying them for people. So. Good for him. He was in my cash lineup. He was in the write-up. So, yeah, cash hit for me. Not overwhelmingly, like, strongly, but I won all my cash, all my single-entry, large field double-ups. So,
yep.
Yeah.
And then we go to this event, which is terrible. It was so hard. Like, the 8K range is
oh my God,
awful. The 9K range, I was like, all right, answer. And then he withdraws, and I'm like, well, that was my favorite play. And now he's not even here.
Yep, mine too. Yep, that kind of, yeah, he was first in my model. It was answer or broke for me this week, and then it was like, like, do I have to play Billy Horschel? Right.
Yeah, now he's the best in that range.
Yeah. Yikes.
But that's how you know it's a good 9K range when Billy Horschel's the best one.
So, all right, I'll get into the course, and then we'll get into our picks and move this right along. For everyone watching at home, by all means, please, if you like what we're doing, click the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow us, The Nation. We got a lot of content out there. We're going to keep pushing content out there as long as we don't lose electricity like we did last week. So, you know, because some of us that weren't hit by a tropical fucking storm. Shocky. Anyways, welcome one and all to the Wyndham Championship. We find ourselves in Greensboro, North Carolina, home to the Sedgefield Country Club for this final full field normal cut event of this year's PGA Tour season, sort of asterisk. Yeah, because as we said before, we don't really know what's going on. So this week, we have kind of a shitty field and kind of an easy course. As this is the first round of the FedEx Cup playoffs, basically after this event, the top 125 in terms of FedEx Cup points move on to the playoffs. The 125 to 126 to 150 people in terms of PGA or FedEx point rankings get awarded a bunch of starts, but no real promises on where or when they will be. And then the bottom 50 on tour get sent back to the minors. Ollie Schneider Jam. They get Schneider Jam. They go back down to the Corn Ferry Tour. That's kind of how the PGA keeps the rotation going. So yeah, this week we have 500 points up top to first. That can go a very long way to securing someone's future on tour. We have also some people on the bubble that need to at least make the cut. and do decently well to secure their tour card for next year and move on in the playoff. Weaker field event on a course that usually plays in the top 10 easiest on tour. So we should see some scoring this week. My guess is probably around minus 20. One last item to take note of is that there are actually two 18-hole courses here, one designed by Ross and the other designed by Dye. We know how these two like their courses to be played, and there are a handful of differences between them, so be aware that we will be on the Ross course this week, not the Dye course. So if you're doing some digging, doing some research, make sure you focus on the Sedgefield Ross course, not the Dye course. Anyways, Sedgefield Country Club Ross course is a 7,125-yard par 70 with 4 par 3s and 2 par 5s. The 2 par 5s here are the easiest on the course. Both are under 150 yards, should be reachable in 2 by most golfers, and carry a birdie or better percentage around 55 to 60%. Nothing to worry about them this week. Par 3s are mixed. What's that?
Sorry, and a high eagle percentage chance on that. Really short of a 6.2%. So I include eagles because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime you have a birdie or better that high, you know a decent amount of birdie or better is factoring in those eagles as well. So
6% eagle is crazy.
Yeah, stupid high. Absolutely. Par 3s are a mixed bag. 2 are easy and 2 are hard. 174-yard third hole and the 175-yard 16th are the 13th and 14th hardest holes on this course. So both are in the easier 50% of holes. They both carry a birdie or better around 20% and have a par rate up near 70. The 223-yard 7th and 235-yard 12th are the 5th and 6th hardest holes on this course. Yield a bogey or worse rate a hair under 20%. Of course, this being a par 70, we also have to look at the par 4s, and there are some nasty ones here. The 18th and the 14th are both over 500 yards and play as the hardest and third hardest holes on the course. In fact, 6 of the 9 hardest holes on this course are par 4s, so we're going to be looking at par 4 scoring this week. We can even zone in on the 400 to 450 yard range, as there are 8 par 4s in that yardage range this week. From the tee box, we have our usual absolutely beautiful views off the tee that we see with Ross courses. There are plenty of chances to take risk off the tee, which will reward golfers if they can land their shots in the right place. Again, when we think of Ross, we think of risk versus reward. The fairways themselves are decently wide, tree-lined. One thing of note is that the further out you go, the narrower the landing zones get, sometimes as much as 10 yards narrower when you go from 275 to 300 plus. They're lined with trees and have some rough, which wild golfers will have to contend with. Ross is also known for wanting golfers to shape their shots both ways off the tee, and as such will have a good amount of left and right dog legs, which is kind of the poor man's way of adding length to a course. And even some double dog legs. Yes, the fabled double dog leg. The fairways here are hit at a rate well above tour average, thanks in part to the lack of length here that allows most golfers to leave the driver in the bag and just bust out their fairway finders. We also have some fairway bunkers that were added to the course to keep with modern players. With their second shots, golfers will see average-sized Bermuda greens. Now, despite the average size, greens and reg numbers here are well above tour average, and golfers that find the short grass off the tee will have an even higher rate of hit greens this week. Greens themselves, as is normal for Ross courses, are heavily sloped from back to front, have false fronts and chutes that will channel balls into collection areas. This event typically becomes a putting contest, as the rate of 3 putts here is well above tour average. And that's what I got for the course. Shockey, anything I missed? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, like I said, Eagles, opportunities gain, birdies are better gain. Then like at the par 4s, and then strokes gains on par 5 because it will be key to do well on these par 5s if you're going to have a good weekend. And then putting. Putting's a big factor.
Definitely.
It is definitely putting. it is right behind. Like, it's almost as more in the top 20 finishers. It's basically the same as approach. Not everybody's amazing at putting, and you just get lucky one weekend. Most varied thing, but if someone's putting well with decent irons, I took that into effect as well. Because some elite ball strike iron players aren't going to be good at putting for this field, at least. Like Paul Casey. But let's go to 10K range and up. Koepka at 11.4, Casey down at 10.3, and I'll just go through it because of this weird thing. I want to say Webb Simpson. I put him as an honorable mention just because of how he's destroyed this event and this course in the past 5 years. But his recent play, I don't like that. He's going to be the highest owned golfer this week. And as the second highest priced guy, highest owned, he needs to come into the top 3 for him to pay off if you play him, and come in the top. If he doesn't come in the top 3, he really doesn't hurt you that much if you didn't play him, as long as the rest of your lineup does well. But nonetheless, he's like in his last 5 years at this event, second, third, 72nd, sixth.
He also, if anyone's read or listened to anything out there this week, I'm sure you've heard the factoid that he owns a house on this course, and he literally named his daughter Wyndham after this event. So,
well, when you do that well here, I think it's deserving.
Yeah, it's fair. It's completely fair. I'm just throwing that out there in case
he just comes in here and is like, you know what, I'll just come make my $500,000 this week and we'll be good.
Yep.
And he probably bought this house after just one of these events. He just looked at a house. I like that house. Let's go back. But yeah, so he's fine. He's going to be really chalkiest golfer. And then Koepka, no thanks. Not as the highest price. Like, my reasons for playing Koepka were different. Too low owned, or too low priced, stuff like that. Now he's the highest priced. I don't think he'll be that high owned because of that. And people saw his knee in a major and all that. And I don't know where he is. Fleetwood, no. He sucks at. He can't make eagles, and he sucks on par 5. So, and his putting's been bad. I don't know. No Fleetwood for me. But I'll go back to my boy. Even though he's way more expensive, I'm going back to Paul Casey. Obviously second last week. But I mean, he's 5th in my best ball striker, 2nd in approach, 3rd tee to green, and 4th off the tee. You always worry about his putting, but over the past 12 rounds at this course, he's 14th in putting. 14th in putting. So, I'll just go back to him, especially with, especially if you just look at his Sunday in general, he couldn't miss like an approach shot. He was hitting everything pretty much dead on, except for like one hole. And then my other guy, since I'm not playing none of those other 3 guys, really, Patrick Reed.
Yeah. His
approach has been inconsistent, but his putting, Patrick Reed's putting is, he can just go out and be the best putter of the week. He's only missed 2 cuts since the restart with 2 top 10s, came 13th last week, a quiet 13th, I might add. No one was talking about Patrick Reed at 13th because he did all of his work basically on Sunday. In his 2 top 10 performances since the break, he gained 7 and 5.1 strokes putting, while only gaining strokes in one of those events within the top 10, and his irons weren't that good in that top 10. He has come 22nd both times he's played this event in the last 5 years, where he has gained the 15th most total strokes and 6th most strokes putting in the last 12 rounds here. Just hoping that he has a decent iron and ball striking week, because his putter will definitely carry him to a good week.
Yeah, for sure. For me, for cash, it's Webb Simpson. Yeah, I mean, if you're playing cash and you want to take someone up this high, it's Webb through and through, and bar none. You don't have to this week, but with Answer playing, who's going to be like a stone cold lock for me on all fronts, Yeah, I might just do Webb Simpson and live in the 7K range for the rest of my cash lineup.
Which is fine because it's in a weak field. It doesn't hurt you that much because it's
not at all. I will note, it was kind of nice to see a cut of like top 70 in ties last week because it
didn't make it as fun. Like
it didn't actually matter, but oh my god!
Like notice the difference of 6 of 6 in top 70 and top 65. Like it's only 5 spots, but if you look at the past 3 weeks, it was 4%, 5%, 2%, and then it's all the way up to 30% with just 5 differential placements.
It didn't even matter this week because they didn't get between 65 and 70. It was like top 62 was the final number.
I thought it was top 67. Really? I thought it was 67 for some reason.
No, I think it was low 60s because I know I mentioned it in the Slack chat. I said it's cool, but it didn't actually matter this week because it was like low 60s. But it was, this week it was just the chalk. It was.
Yeah, the chalk did hit last week, which
+1 was T60.
Okay. Yeah, it was then. I thought 60. It was 67 at one point. I know on Friday, but it's also weird when golf's on at 9:30. That's why I just California. You have your times during the January. That's why I don't. That's why I don't like it in the summer.
Yeah, it was. It was just wild. Like the amount of 6 of 6. And I had 7. I had 5. I had 5 of 6. I almost said 7 of 6. I had 5 of 6 in cash, and I still hit with more Kawa. Yeah, I know.
The bench guy. The bench guy is over there.
Seriously, I'm playing on fantasy draft. So yeah, for cash it's Webb. For me, for GPPs, it's Koepka and Reed. I don't hate the Casey play. He's second in my model. It's just gonna come down to his putting, but I think a lot of people are gonna take the same route that you take with Koepka, and we always see the top price guy going a little lower owned than usual. So I think Koepka is gonna try to make a statement this week. I think he realizes that he talked a big game and had to eat a bunch of crow, and I think I might burn $5-10 on Koepka and see what happens. I think he's going to be lower owned. So we'll see.
The lowest owned in this tier range.
Like you said, approach has been kind of inconsistent, but putting's been good. So I'm willing. I'm definitely.
And you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about his knees on his putting.
Well, yeah, exactly. So I'll get into the 9K range real quick. Again,
that'll be it.
is Webb and cash. Probably Reed is number 1. Koepka's 2, and Casey would be 3 if I were doing GPP this week. It was going to be 9K. What's that?
So Fleetwood's going to win it now.
Probably. Oh, without a doubt. Neither one of us mentioned him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 9K range. It was going to be Answer all day, all night. Answer's going to win this event. And then he withdrew. So that's that. So now, for me, it's really between English and Horschel. I think I'm leaning English in cash. He's first in this field in the last 24 rounds in par 4 scoring. Second in putting. Driving distance is awful, but we don't give a shit. Shorter course, don't care. Bogey avoidance, third in this field. Ball striking is good. Approach is good. Tee to green is good. So I think I'm going to go English at 9,300, and then Horschel. Better history here than English.
Yep. But English is playing better, I think, than in years past.
Absolutely. And that's really, if I'm taking anyone out of here in GPPs, it's those two. That's it for this range.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with English. Horschel is my top guy in this range. I'm not in love with this range, really. English, I didn't mind. It was just Rose for me over English. His numbers aren't as good at all that. He had a really good week. His weeks are weird. it's either he's completely on his game or he's nowhere to be found.
Well, I guess he did a lot of work with his new clubs. I heard he took a little time off and did a lot of work with his new.
Yeah, because he played at the Memorial and then took 2 weeks off and then comes back and was one of the best putters and approach guys last week. It was just like I know that like this is all going to be a tight grouping range for the ownership wise, except for Spieth. So I think Rose will come a little bit lower owned than English because if people just look at the numbers. So I have no problem with English. I just Rose over him. But I think all three of these guys are playable for different reasons. And then I think I heard Spieth hasn't done a squat in over 3 years. So someone's like, I can't play someone that hasn't done. I'm not playing a guy who hasn't done a squat in over 3 years.
He never missed leg day.
And yeah. Like, I've had my reasons for Spieth really being low-owned or something, taking shots at him, but, I mean, the inconsistency is there. His putting is not, I don't know, like, he tried to work too much on his approach. Now his putting is not as good. Like, ever since the Charles Schwab, he hasn't gained over 1 stroke putting. And that when his irons have been decent, but it's, now, like, no Jordan Spieth for me. I mean, this 9K range is only 4 guys, so. But I'll go down to the 8K range, which is similar to the 9K range. At the top is Brendan Todd. At the bottom is Connors. Siwoo Kim will be the chalk.
You think so? Yikes.
He's projected at the highest owned guy in this range.
Yikes.
What? Well, you look at it. He played well last week. His history is good. In the past, I'm not going to play him. I'm not playing Siwoo Kim chalk.
No.
I don't mind if people do because
after he does
I don't mind if people do. His numbers are good. He has good history in here, but I just don't feel comfortable playing Siwoo Kim chalk because I know what Siwoo Kim is.
Yeah.
But I don't mind. Like, I want to hate you if play Siwoo Kim chalk because this 8K range is nothing special, really. Like, I don't know how I love the 7K range more than the 8 and the 9K range, but that's this week. But for the 8K range, Brendan Todd made 5 straight cuts, 2 top 25s, 2 top 15s, came 17th last week. Missed both the cuts here missed both cuts he's played here in the past 5 years, 2 of the 5 years. But that was way long ago in 16 and 15. Tee to green has been back and forth, struggling off the tee, but that doesn't matter as much this week. Has gained strokes on approach in 4 of his last 5, gained strokes putting in 5 straight, and in his last 2 events has gained 6.1 and 7.1 strokes putting. He is an accurate driver, though. But I like Brendan Todd. He's a solid guy. He has 2 wins. He almost had 3 wins. It was in the wraparound season, but this is kind of a wraparound season field.
Oh yeah, so
in a wraparound season course.
I have a whole thing on Brendan Todd, so don't you worry.
Okay, I'm assuming you like him then.
I do.
Yep, like I just said, it's a wraparound season field on a kind of a wraparound season scoring course, and that's what Brendan Todd has won 2 events, almost 3, and he's still playing solid golf. It's just a Brendan Todd year. Corey Connors, yeah, he sucks at putting. He can have decent weeks, but, I mean, I kind of like to mix it up. I don't want to go all guys that are just good at putting with decent irons. Like, Corey Connors is a great iron player.
You don't want it to be too easy. You don't want it to be too easy.
What? Yeah, I like to mix it up. You know, you don't want, like, he could just hole out from 150 yards 3 times, and that's all I need. He's been the 10th best on approach, 6th best ball striker, 8th best off the tee, and 10th best tee to green over the last 24 rounds. Has made 5 to 7 cuts with 3 top 25s. Has made back-to-back cuts here with finishes of 45th and 22nd last year. And has been above average putting on this course in his 2 years of playing here. So there is hope. for Connors to do something on the greens.
And there's a
and then I feeling you had this guy, Kevin Kisner.
Oh, I love the Kiz. Yep.
Well, the only reason I wrote him down, I was like 8K range. Don't really love it. You got some weird chalk that I don't like. Ryan Moore is going to be chalk. Not playing Ryan Moore chalk. See what Kim chalk. I was like, no. But Kisner, what is he good at? Short courses.
Yep.
He likes short courses.
Yep.
His consistency has not been there. 3 of 6 cuts made, 29th, a third, and the 19th last week. In the third and 19th finishes, his irons and putting were amazing, both gaining over 4 strokes. So he's either exploded or imploded, basically, with his game. But he's gained the 10th most total strokes here over the last 12 rounds, 3 full events. Played back here in 2017 and 16 with finishes of 42nd and 10th. Then he's going to be somewhat owned, but I'll take a stab at Sungjae Im because eventually Sungjae Im's game will come back.
Yep.
And since the Olympics got pushed back, he doesn't care about golf anymore, apparently, because he can't go to try to medal. I have a feeling that's what it is. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense. Ever since the Olympics got pushed back, and that was one of the reasons, he didn't say it, but you have a feeling that's one of the reasons, so he didn't have to serve military duty so he could play golf to try to medal. And ever since then, he's just been terrible. Yep. Like, I think he's had one good event, and then it's just been terrible. But eventually, it's going to come back, and you don't want to, like, he's not going to be low-owned, but if you're playing multiple lineups, you know the talent is there with Sungjae Im. And that's it for me.
Okay. So,
Sedeker's done well here, but he's terrible at golf right now.
Right now. Brandon Todd is Russell Knox.
What?
Brandon Todd is Russell Knox.
Whoa.
Brandon
Todd's made cuts this year.
Brandon Todd, no, hear me out. Starting at the Shriners in 2015, going all the way through, we'll say the AT&T Pro-Am in 2019. So like a little over 3 years. Made like 3 cuts in 3 years. That bad. Maybe 4. 3 or 4 cuts in like 3 years. Then, for whatever reason, he flipped a switch because golf is a very funny game, and he won back-to-back events, almost won 3 in a row, and ever since has been playing very, very well. Now, before he missed all these cuts, he was on a pretty significant upswing, going from like 2013 up to, we'll say October of 2015. Huge upswing, playing really, really, really good golf. And then it's just a nosedive into nothing. And now he's starting to gain some of them back. He's actually, his career total strokes gained was at one point like negative 65 from over 100. He went from 115 October 22nd, 2015 to negative 65. So quick math, he lost 180 strokes in 3 years. Like, that's ridiculous. Now he's finally starting to get positive. He's back in the black. And he's starting to get on an upswing. So this is my hope for Russell Knox. Everything comes back to Russell Knox. You get broken for a little while, and then you fix it, and then you start playing really well again. So, like I said, at his height, 115 career strokes gained. Currently, he is sitting at like 18. So, he's got still like 100 strokes to gain total over the field to get back to his high point, but he is moving in the right direction. He's playing very strong golf. Super accurate off the tee, super good putter, super good on par fours. So, yeah, I like Brandon Todd this week. Brandon Todd and Cash. Absolutely. Brendan. Sorry.
It's an O, not an A.
Nah, man.
That's not true.
With you on Siwoo, no thank you. I'm not playing Siwoo the week after he does well. Nope, just not going to do it. Chez, I have a little bit of love for. Grades out well. Distance sucks. Putting sucks. But everything else is really, really, really fucking good. So, little Chez love. Kisner and Cash, absolutely. Like you said, he likes short courses. He does not like long courses. And even at a longer course last week, he did decently well. So I think he carries it into this week. Kisner is just, I'm going to go out, I'm going to make the cut, I'm going to cash a check, and I'm going to be happy. He's like a modern-day Matt Kuchar. So definitely
Matt Kuchar is still playing.
I understand that.
You just said like Kuchar was like retired or something.
Kuchar's like 20 years older than Kisner, okay? That's why I said modern day. Ryan Moore chalk scares me, but he does grade out decently well. If I like Chez, I kind of have to like Ryan Moore. So, yeah, maybe in GPPs. Fuck it. And then Connors, I think, is going to be chalky too. I think a lot of people are going to jump on the really good with his irons, but maybe his putting will positively regress. And, yeah, it might. But I'd rather not play that game, especially in cash this week. So in the 8K range for me, it's Todd and Kisner. I don't mind starting. I mean, I think you can build a decent cash lineup with like English and Todd and then live in the 7K range. I don't think that's a terrible move this week. So, yeah. Anyways, I'll get into this 7K range. A lot of guys in here. Who do I like up here? Fratelli? Maybe?
I looked at him, and then I said, it was like a fringe play.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you have anybody? Do you want me to go first?
No, I have guys. I'm just trying to, add a little
Well, make sure no one else was added to the 7K range.
Well, yeah.
Like Answer was just back in the field and they priced him at 7K.
That would be awesome. I'd love that.
Yeah, he would be 80% owned.
Yes. No Joaquin the Dream. I can't do it. He grades out decently well. I just I don't know how much faith. What?
Oh, you gotta play Neiman.
You like Neiman?
Oh, with his irons and his putting isn't that bad. He's been on a bad streak, but he's been on a bad streak of putting. But his putting
2 in the last 5 events he's gained strokes putting in 1 event, and 2 events he lost 6 strokes putting.
I know, but he can putt at times.
Oh my god. Okay. I mean, we can all putt at times.
No, you can't putt at times. He can putt at times. Talk about damn Dylan Fratelli, who sucks at putting, but you won't consider Neiman, who's better than Fratelli. If I'm taking a South African in this range, you know who it is. I'm playing him this week.
Yeah, I like Bazunenhow.
Bazooka.
God bless you.
I mean, yeah, this course sets up perfectly for Bazooka.
Yes, I agree, and I do like him in cash this week. I'm very much with you on there, so I won't go on about him too much. I'm not playing JT Poston. I know he won here last year, but I'm not.
No. No, his putting's gone to 31st, and if he's not in the top 10 of putting, he ain't doing anything.
Nope. No, because the rest of his numbers are garbage.
Well, that's
Christian,
he's exactly like a McCarthy or Patrick Rogers. They have to putt well to do well.
Yeah, I really like Henley this week.
Yep.
He grades out super well in my model. Super strong numbers.
His irons are on fire.
Irons and even tee to green has been like.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. It's just what's the one thing you have to worry about him. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why he can't finish high.
What's that? Well, you can't finish.
That's why he can't. That's why he can't finish high because of his putting.
Okay, that makes more sense than what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Henley, I like Henley. I like the Bless You House. Moving on down here, I think Schwab is gonna have some people trying to get cute, but I'm not gonna go there. I'm not getting there. Down here lower though, it's my boy. It's Henrik Norlander.
Hey, whoa! I was playing Henrik Norlander more than you.
I was trying to sneak one past you. Anyways, yeah, it's Norlander. Absolutely. Even a little Glover. I got a little love for the glove this week.
He was interesting. He's he's the same thing as Henley, except just a tick worse.
Back-to-back missed cuts, the PGA and the 3M, and then a couple decent finishes in a row there after that. Really just kind of sucked tee to green at those events that he missed the cut at. Putting's been middling, nothing outstanding, but normally he's a better tee to green player. His accuracy is really good. His distance is okay. So I got a little love.
Just the putting.
Old Man Jim. I'm taking a little look at Old Man Jim.
Yeah, he was interesting. He's good. I think he was good for cash for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shorter course, and that's what he does. I mean, he's super accurate off the tee. Not very long, but irons are great. Par 4's scoring's great. Proximity's great. Putting is meh. But, and then getting down here in the lower range, a little Sepp Straka love. Decent number. What?
Oh yeah, I love Sepp Straka.
Yeah, I mean solid numbers overall. Like we say, no red numbers. Everything is solid. Nothing's overly terrible. So
he does well on easy scoring courses.
Yeah, and that's exactly.
He can be a birdie. He can be a birdie machine at times.
Yeah, and then Cam Davis.
That was a hard one for me to pass on.
A hard one.
It was a fringe play, one of those where it's hard to put him in, but you want to put him in.
For his price, $70K, there's definitely I think there's a decent amount of cut making equity in him. He grades out decently well. Accuracy isn't great, but distance is. If you're gonna miss the fairway, at least fucking be super long. Tee to green is good. Putting kind of sucks, but we've seen him do very well at these weaker field events. So most recently the 3M. So I have a little love for Cam Davis. That's the 7K range for me.
Yeah, well, 7K range. I'm gonna mention my boy that I've been playing a lot of since the restart of Doc Rudman.
Harry Hicks?
Who's? Oh. Yeah, no. Somebody that makes cuts.
Harry Hicks made cuts, mind you.
Made cut. He ain't in this field. That's how bad he is. He's ain't in this field. Is he? Oh, he is in this field. Completely overlooked him because he's so bad.
Is he? Where is he?
He's 6,200.
All right. That makes sense. Ooh.
He has 2 non-red numbers that I got.
I have 3 in my model.
Oh, wow. 3 green numbers. And the green ones aren't even that good. But anyways, it's Doc Redman. Made 5 of 7 cuts. 29th last week. Last 2 events has been inverse Doc Redman, where his putting, he's gained over 4 strokes putting in back-to-back weeks, but has lost strokes on his irons, which is weird because his irons are usually amazing while his putting is not bad, but inconsistent. I hope he just didn't decide I'm going to be a putter, not an iron player, and throw all of his irons out. But with his irons, if his putting shown upside with his irons, I like him. Neiman, same thing. Irons hasn't lost strokes on approach or off the tee since the break. Has only lost strokes tee to green twice, but has only gained strokes putting twice since the restart. Over his last 8 rounds here, though, he's 20th strokes gained putting, which has resulted in a 33rd and a 13th last year. Knowing his putting is as bad as what has been and how his irons have been, I like him. Substraka, like I said, love him at these scoring courses. He's only lost strokes putting once since the restart. He's only lost strokes in approach twice, which led him to 5 straight made cuts with a top 10 and 2 top 20s. Played here once in the last 5 years, came 39th. Then I'll go with Russell Henley. We went over him. Great iron player. And tee to green ball striking, everything but putting. Then, of course, Bazunho, who's projected at less than 1% own somehow, which is
weird.
Crazy. And this course sets up because he's the 15th best approach player, 3rd best putter in the last 24 rounds. His off the tee is not good, but with his irons and putting at this course, I think the leverage play around this price range could be amazing with him. Norlander, I love again. His irons and ball striking have been amazing, being 5th in approach, 8th in ball striking, putting above average at 49th, which is kind of inflated by an event 2 events ago where he had gained 8.2 strokes putting, but he doesn't necessarily blow up all the time on the greens. I am more confident in his tee to green play than his putting, though, for this week. I'll go with Luke Liszt at 7,200. Consistent golf. Only one bad weekend all around where he lost strokes in every category, except around the green. In his last 5 events, he has gained strokes tee to green, off the tee, and approach in 4 of the 5, while gaining putting in 3 of those 5. In his last 4 of 5 cuts made, he has a top 10 and a top 25 in the past. He's played this events in 2 of the past 5 years here and has missed a cut both times. And my last guy will be Rory Sabatini. Overall numbers are just average, just about of average, somewhere in that range. But it's more of a course history play. In the past 3 years here, he has a 4th, 57th, and a 6th. So a kind of cheaper Webb Simpson, I'd call him at this point. A poor man's Webb Simpson. And that's my 7K range.
All right. Close out the 6K range.
6K range, I have one guy that stood out across all numbers. I have 4 people. But one guy that is I felt like was the best 6K range guy. Bryce Garnett.
Yep.
Solid numbers. Top 40 in Eagles approach, ball striking, putting, and tee to green. Top 40. His history here, past 4 or 5 years, he didn't play in 17. He's made 4 or 5 cuts with 2 20ths and a 6 last year.
Yep.
You have him too.
Yep.
I don't think he won't be sneaky for the 6K range because of all that. But 6K range, sometimes I don't need to be sneaky if there's just one guy that's sneaking out. A guy I didn't think I'd say his name, Adam Long. Surprisingly, he's been decent. 31st in approach, 14th in putting over his last 24 rounds. He is 2nd in Eagles in this field over the last 24 rounds and 21st in par 5 scoring. Never feels right liking Long, but his numbers speak for himself. He has made 4 of his last 5 cuts with a shocking 2nd place finish at the 3M that everybody saw coming. And then I feel like you might have this one of your boys.
Boy.
One of your boys, and the Stanky Gooch.
I looked at Gooch.
Oh, the week you didn't make it, I was on the live stream by myself. I played Taylor, and I think he did decent. He made the cut.
More now.
Yeah, he has made, Taylor has made two of his last 5 cuts. And 2 of those made cuts, he is top 20s both times. He's 28th in approach, 21st in putting over his last 24 rounds. A strict boomer or bust flyer in the 6K range. He has missed the cut both times over the last 2 years. Like, that's what you get with Gooch, I feel like, every time. It's just he's going to do well or he's going to be on his couch on Saturday. And my last guy is Ryan Armour. Only a course history play because his numbers are bad. But over the past 3 years here, he's come 4th, 8th, and 22nd last year. I guess a poor man's version of Webb Simpson. And that's where I finish it off.
I was shocked. What surprised me this week was each of the top 5 golfers in this field in driving distance in the last 24 rounds are all under $6,200 this week. If you want to add Wyndham Clark, you can say top 6 are under 6,600.
The event's named after him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Brandon Hagee. Sorry. Hagee is like 6,700. So the top 6 leaders in this field in driving distance are all under $7,000 this week. That made me laugh. Literally, number 1, number 3, and number 4 are both 6K golfers in terms of driving distance. Ryan Brehm, Tyler McCucumber, and Martin Trainer. Last 24 rounds, driving distance. I thought that was interesting. Anyways, I played. I just pointing that out. So, yeah, I'm very much with you on Bryce Garnett. He's popping in the stat model. Tournament history is good. So Bryce Garnett and cash might be a thing this week, which is weird. I don't think I've played him ever in an event, ever, once. So that's going to be a thing. And that's just the week we have. Chase Seifert. Whatever. Really? You're the one? Okay. He was super chalky at the 3M and missed the cut, but he did have a 4th place at the Workday Charity Open, thanks in large part to a impressive putting week, as well as an impressive tee to green week. In my model, good screen, good on approach, good ball striker, decent putter, decent on par 4s. So Seifert might get a little bit of burn this week. I'll go back up a little higher at the Coke Rack. I'm a mark for the Cock Rack. So grades out decently well. My bunch of missed cuts. His putter's broken right now. Historically, he's a much better putter, like almost 2 strokes better historically than
the last 2 years. He hasn't been good at putting. It just feels like that way.
Yeah. But when he does putt well, like at the Charles Schwab, he finishes in 3rd place. So not a cash play for me, but interesting look in GPPs. I looked at the Gooch. I don't think I could get there this week. I don't think I could do the Gooch this week. And if I absolutely had to take a wild and flyer down here super low, I would. It's hard. I want to throw someone decent out there.
Scott Brown.
Or Harry Higgs. No, I'm just kidding.
Kyle Stanley.
Yeah, Kyle Stanley. Russell Knox.
He came 13th here last year.
Yeah, I saw that. No, it's probably going to be Chase Seifert. 10th in my model. Pops really well. He's probably going to be the lowest I'm willing to go. One of these guys down here will probably make the cut, but I'm not going to try to pretend like I know who that's going to be.
Someone in the 6K range will make the cut. We've got that down.
Probably Davis Love the third. All in Davis Love the third this week.
Oh wait. Davis Love the third with the 5th most total strokes gained over here in the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
That's someone to hang your head on.
He likes the course. Only because he won here in 2015.
Yeah, that was only 5 years ago.
Yeah, nothing's changed since then.
Yep, he's still the same guy. It's like Benjamin Button, or however that movie goes.
Do you have anything else, Shockey?
Yes, the next month will be interesting with a playoffs and a major, which will be the first time ever that has happened. And then the Masters in November.
That's going to be awesome. I'm super excited for that.
It's like Thanksgiving and the Masters. Like, I wouldn't mind that every year.
No. And then a couple months, and then the Masters again.
And then the Masters. The only I do, even though the Open Championship is like annoying because your guys are like it's just not be the worst at times. It's still fun to watch. I love watching link style golf courses because you don't see it often unless you watch a Euro Tour and you're up at 3 a.m. But I like link style golf courses are fun to watch.
So much fun to watch, and like you just wake up in the morning and golf is on.
Yeah, I mean I just like the setup of it because there's nothing like it in the United States because you got these hills. Like I'm disappointed that the Open Championship wasn't played because I know like it couldn't happen and there'd be so much complications. But I'm ready for it next year because I just want another Open Championship.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think the links style golf and just the viewing experience is so unique to the U.S. Open or the Open. I always fuck that up. I've had a couple of these tonight, so like 9% New Belgium Voodoo Rangers, no free ads. So
yeah, but yep, that's it.
Okay. All right, Nation. So that's going to do it for us tonight. Sorry again about last week. We had internet/power issues thanks to a natural disaster. So hope you can cut us some slack on that. We'll be in Slack. Hit us up with that if you need anything from us. Please, if you're not a part of the Nation, check us out. We have some low prices, some super good content. My article will hopefully be out by noon in the morning, my cash article. And hit us up if you need anything. And we will see you next week for the whatever the fuck, BMW, Northern Trust. What was it?
Northwood Trust.
Northern Trust. Yeah. So.
Yep.
All right, Nation. Let's get it. Have a good week. Let's kill it. Catch you next time.